for sure.
Awesome. So, just for everyone listening, can you kind of go into your background and just do a little introduction of yourself, who you are, how old you are, what you do, etc.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So my name's Emily. I'm 20 years old, and right now I'm currently working at the new Impact Fitness Gym in Hillsboro. As far as, like a physical fitness background, I've done gymnastics all my life. I've done acrobatics, track, cheer, all that in high school. So I had, what I thought was a pretty good, understanding of physical fitness, keeping my body in shape, staying healthy. That's pretty much been my whole entire life up until high school. And then after that, it all just kind of dropped off, and I felt like I had to restart from everything, and start from scratch again.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And knowing that you have the background of acrobatics, is that what it's no?
Yes.
Acro.
Yep.
Yeah. So a lot of so you're a gymnast, but through high school you kind of saw a shift in your mentality, you saw a shift in your activity level, and which caused weight gain, correct?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. That's very normal. That happens to a lot of people. So kind of go into where you were a month prior to reaching out. I know you started with the New Year challenge with me, but like back in October, November, December, where were you mentally and physically before you decided, okay, I'm gonna do this?
Yeah. So physically, I was very out of shape. I hadn't done anything since I graduated high school in 2017. So I was very out of shape. I had noticed, a lot of muscle was lost from all my sports that I did, and
Yeah.
I started gaining weight. I started storing fat, where in areas that I wasn't used to really worrying about, because I just had sports to depend on. So physically I was very out of shape. Mentally, I had no confidence in myself at all. I didn't want to go out. Pictures became my worst enemy.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be in any pictures. I didn't want to go out. I knew I wanted to make a change, and I knew I wanted to get back in shape, but it was just, like where to start, how hard is it going to be, and can I even apply myself? Am I even ready to apply myself for something like that?
Mm-hmm. No, that's awesome. And thank you for opening up about that. A lot of people struggle with the whole, I don't want to be in pictures because I'm afraid of me looking like this. I'm not happy
Oh
with
yeah.
because I think I should be here when I'm really here. Um,
Yep.
it's I would say pandemic, but we are in a global pandemic.
Right.
It's really just a health pandemic. We're so many people are in it, especially people around your age, leaving high school. And it's just hard. And so kind of go into the initial, like, okay, what was the deciding factor of I'm going to do this New Year challenge?
The deciding factor was definitely, I was just tired of how I felt mentally, with no self-confidence. I went from being a 3-sport athlete to not having to worry about, what I eat, pictures taken,
Yep.
I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. And I wanted to somewhat get back to that point again. Obviously I wasn't going to be a 3-sport athlete,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, I definitely just wanted to gain that confidence back, and I was just tired of how I felt, how I looked, and it was kind of just like I'm frustrated with myself, I'm tired of this, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah. And that's awesome. And that's crazy that it makes me happy that you just said, I can do this. I'm going to do this. And what you did was you signed up with my free New Year challenge. You had an incentive, but it's like, okay, I'm going to test myself for 28, 30 days and see what I can do with myself. And that's what's really cool. And that was the results I saw with you, just with that. That was so impressive. Just the fact that I didn't really dive into coaching. It was a free service that I offered. You were allowed to have my workouts. You were allowed to get some nutrition coaching a little bit, but it wasn't too crazy. It wasn't one-on-one. And the fact that you lost 8-9 pounds in a month, you saw just a switch in your mentality. You got excited about the results. It boosted you to want to work with me one-on-one. And that's what's kind of cool. So can you kind of go into the fact of what caused you to go from the free client to someone who wanted to work with me one-on-one?
Yeah. So honestly, that New Year challenge was it was the perfect thing that you Like it was just so perfect to me. I was like, okay, you know what? Like, you know, I don't have to, you know, I don't have to spend anything on this. This is really just like something that, you know, he's going to give me workouts every day. I'm going to stick with him. I know how to work out. I know how to go to the gym and do workouts. So I was like, you know, it was really just like a big, let's see where this goes kind
Yeah,
of thing.
absolutely.
And I mean, once I compared like to where I started from day one and where I was at the last day, like it completely blew my mind. And you know, I was like, it just made me realize, you know, like I can apply myself for this, I can do this, and I can stick with it, I can stay consistent. So I just wanted to keep seeing how much further I could go with
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. And that's awesome. Thank you for opening up about that. That's really cool. So obviously you went from New Year challenge, someone who just wanted to try something new, to switching to now a full client with me,
Hmm.
which I've loved working with you. You're super compliant. Your effort is there, and I've seen just a massive switch just here, just mentally. It
Right.
will
Yes.
switch to a different person, and that's so cool because what that does, that fires me up because now you don't just have physical results, you have mental results,
Oh
and
yeah.
when you have a mentality switch, that translates to everyone else. That
Yeah.
your energy that you're creating, how you're viewing things, how you're seeing someone view themselves, you're going to let them know. You're going to try to help them. And what that causes is a domino effect of people
Hmm.
being more self-aware of what they say, how they view themselves. And that's the entire goal of being a health coach is to have a effect on as many people as possible. So if I
Right.
can affect you and you can affect 10 other people, I'm thrilled. That's awesome. I
Right.
didn't have to
Yep.
work with such people. You did something that translated to other people's happiness, other people changing themselves, other people being more aware of what they're saying, how they're viewing themselves, and just physical activity level. And that's awesome. Thank you for being that person who's just changing so much
Yep.
for the better. And I think that's one thing that you've really stressed is you're doing this for yourself, not anybody else.
Hmm.
And that's
Yep.
super important when it comes to making a change is understanding you decided this, not not that your boyfriend wants you to lose weight or this person
Right.
thinks that you're unhealthy. It's like, no, you decided to do this, no one
Yep.
else. And once
Yep.
you decide to do something and you invested in yourself, you're not going to lose. You have that athlete mentality of I'm going to win. This is going to be
Hmm.
going to take long. It's going to be a process. It's going to be a journey, but that's why we do daily stuff. That's why we work on everything day by day.
Yep.
Stay grateful and just stick to the process because the process works. It's just people usually don't have the patience for the process, and you do, which
Right.
I'm very,
Yep.
very proud of you for. Awesome. So, obviously, so kind of go into just your initial goals. Come deciding to work with me.
Yeah. So the initial goal I had was to lose weight. I wanted to lose weight, look smaller, lose inches, you know, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I started training with you, I realized that, you know, there are some other things that have to come before that happens, you know, like we rebuild muscle, we gain flexibility, you know, and I think the biggest thing for me was learning, you know, I have to pay attention to the inches lost versus what the scale says,
Yes.
because that's what I noticed first was the inches lost before I even noticed any weight loss on the scale.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you said that. A lot of people struggle with the weight, and weight
Yes.
is just another metric we use to record our progress and change. There's
Hmm.
so much metrics that we can use: inches off, attitude, energy level, the amount of sleep we get a week,
Right.
so much stuff. And I'm glad you mentioned the weight thing because that's a lot of women struggle with that. A lot of women
Yes.
struggle with the idea of weighing themselves, and
Hmm.
they get discouraged because when they don't see that number drop, they think what they're doing doesn't work. And if it doesn't work for them, nothing's going to work for them. And now they're in this spiral of, oh, I'll never change. Might as well see how bad it gets. And
Right.
that's a morbid way to look at it, but
Hmm.
to look at it in a morbid way in order to make a change because that's what happens. We put our health aside and 6 months down the road we're 40 pounds more unhappy with ourselves and we can't notice who we look at in the mirror. And
Right.
that's what is so cool about the fact that you're so young and you're understanding this. When I was 21, I started to make that switch. I started to start doing stuff like you're doing, and it's gotten me to where I am now, and I haven't looked back since. And I just want you to know, the fact that you're doing this so young, you're an outlier, and that you being an outlier will make you have influence on other people's lives. And I hope you understand that, because it's a good feeling to help other people, and that's my entire goal with this business, is to help as many people as I possibly can, because that happiness knowing that I can help change someone's life, because I think that's something that I was made to do. and
Right.
and okay, cool. That's awesome. So kind of other than knowing that you wanted to change your weight and how you look, like, was there any like mentality switches that you noticed you were, or
Oh yeah.
was there ways that you were viewing yourself, things that you were telling yourself that you were like, okay, I need to stop doing this, I need to stop doing this?
Oh yeah. I definitely knew, one big mentality change that I wanted to see was just overall confidence level. I didn't want to be afraid of the camera anymore. I didn't want to, keep myself inside and not go out and hang out with my friends and have a good time. And I wanted clothes to fit looser, obviously. I wanted to look good in a bikini this summer.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wanted to be able to buy, baggy clothes and still look small in them. And, it was just like smaller things like that I definitely saw along the way that helped me keep focus on, this overall weight loss goal.
Yes. And I always tell my clients, it's like, okay, so you started gaining weight in high school, now you're 21. So it took you like 4 years to get to where you are now. Don't expect to lose all that weight in 3 months. It's not going to happen. Unless you do it in a very unhealthy way. Like, understand that the longer it takes you to make something happen, the more proud you are going to be of yourself. Good things are hard. They're not going to be easy. Things that are really, really going to make you happy are going to take time. That's everything in life. So just understand that. And I don't think I need to tell you to understand it. You do a very well job of staying humbled and staying grateful of what you have and what you're doing with your life. But if you see anybody and tell them like, hey, you need to look at it like this, it's going to take time. Don't stress about it, because you've been working out for two weeks and you haven't seen that weight, or that weight even went up. It's going to be fine. Just take your time. Give it a longer time frame. Good things are going to happen. And I'm very proud of everything that you've done with the workouts. You're super compliant. It's been fun. And obviously, just to let everybody know, this is being recorded during the coronavirus pandemic. So we have now had to switch out of the gym now to bodyweight exercises, which I love. But I know some people, or I don't purely teach bodyweight exercises. I do weighted stuff. I think weight training is very good, and it helps with losing weight. So just let everybody know, right now we're doing, I think it's been almost a month of bodyweight exercises. So this has been a different time. We don't have equipment. You don't have equipment, do you? I don't think you do. Yeah, no. Nope. So we've been doing really a lot of mobility stuff, and just trying to see working on muscular endurance too, like pushing high reps, working on different movements like push-ups and some different lower body exercises that probably suck. But I think that they're pretty solid workouts, and I think that you're killing them, because, I mean, other than last week, you've been hitting every single time. So kind of go into how your transition from going to the gym all the time to now having to do at-home workouts, but still finding ways to do it.
Yeah, so it's definitely been a struggle. I know I've complained to you a couple times about being locked in the house, and doing workouts at home is completely different than motivating yourself to go to the gym and to get a good workout. You're just at home, you have distractions, you have TV, whatever. And I mean, it's definitely a challenging switch to try to get yourself to, go into your living room and do a workout when, you have a bed, you have a couch, you have food, snacks, all of that stuff around you. So yeah, it's definitely been a challenging switch, but I mean, I know with myself personally, if I let myself skip 1 or 2 workouts, I'll let myself get into a habit of it, and then it'll become 3 or 4, and then it'll become a week at a time. And I think that's what's really been motivating, like, me to, all right, I have to do this because I'm not going to get out of a routine of doing so.
Good. That's well put. I think that's really important for people to understand. Tomorrow never happens. Like the fact that you say, I'm going to do this tomorrow, subconsciously you're telling yourself that you're not going to do it. Like
Right.
you're like thinking, oh yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. But guess what? Tomorrow never comes.
Yep.
You keep saying it and it just never comes. So that's
Yep.
all. And cool. All right. So a couple more things, obviously, kind of go into, let's see here. I want you to kind of talk about your favorite thing that I offer with this coaching, and just like, I mean, it can be anything about it, but what's your like 2 favorite things that you enjoy from working one-on-one with me? Go for it.
Yeah. So definitely, I think my favorite things are the communication
Mhm.
that we have every week. We get on a FaceTime call every week, and I mean we talk periodically throughout the week as well on your app. But just communication and the access that I have to you to ask any questions that I have,
Mhm.
anything like I know I can text you about anything or any kind of recommendations or with any random questions that I have just about anything really. And I mean, I know that you're always there to answer my questions and help me to the best that you can. So, I mean, just knowing that and having that to fall back on, like, oh, well, if I can't figure this out, I can ask Austin. And just knowing that, you'll be there to help me out.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm glad you like that. Obviously, in any type of business and relationships, and what we have is a relationship. It's client and coach. So obviously communication is the most important thing. And the fact that that's one of your favorite things makes me happy, because it means my services or my systems are working. The scheduling systems are good, and you're not feeling overwhelmed. You're not forgetting about calls. That makes me happy, because that's one of the hardest things to do in this business is communicate well. And
Right.
a lot of people are really bad with communicating, and that's one thing that I've stressed about my business, is making sure that my clients are being heard and they're also getting answers. So
Mhm.
thank you for that. Is there anything else that you liked, or you never told me, or something that I offer or that I do that you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, just the overall system and the app that you have set up. I mean, it's so easy. It's so easy to access. Everything is just laid out right there in front of you, which is exactly what I need. Like, I like clicking on my days and seeing exactly what I have to do that day. And they're easy to click on. They're easy to access. They're easy to get a hold of. To get a hold of you, the messaging is right there in the app as well. So I mean, all of it just flows together so easily, and I mean, it just makes the whole workout experience and accountability, experience. It just makes it all so much easier to access.
Awesome. Can you kind of go into more about the accountability? Like, how has
Yes.
investing in yourself and having someone to hold you accountable changed your, I hate this word, but motivation to get your results? Change
Yeah.
your mindset, and how has that shifted?
Yeah. So honestly, fear of accountability is what held me back for the longest amount of time. I was, afraid to have someone, on me every week about and seeing like, what I'm doing, what I'm not doing.
Mhm.
I knew that, we did progress pictures every week, every 2 weeks, and I knew that you were going to see the progress that I made. So I knew I had to make progress. I knew I had to stay consistent with it and stick with it. And I mean, that was a big fear for me whenever I first started. Now, I mean, I know it seems like, that was my biggest fear when I first started, but that's what really has helped me the most in this whole experience. Just knowing, you're going to be able to see what I do, what I don't do. You're going to see the progress I've made. You're going to see everything. And, I knew that I just wanted to get that stuff done. So, you could see that I was putting forth the effort and all that stuff. And
Absolutely.
I think that's just really what made me get the results that I did, really helped me out with the results, just because I knew that I was being held accountable and there was someone there who was going to keep pushing me.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a good way to put it, because a lot of people don't even realize that they're scared of accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think we hate being reviewed at work? Like when our boss
Right.
calls us in and says, "Hey, we're gonna do your yearly review," and they're like, "Oh crap!"
Mm-hmm.
People are afraid of judgment. They're afraid of being told that they're bad at something, and they want to focus on what they're good at. And whenever you
Right.
focus on what you're bad at and work on it each day, that's when you start to see a change. You start to work just with any athlete. If they're bad at free throws in basketball, they need to practice free throws, or they're never going to get better at it.
Right.
That's what's important. A lot of people are feared, or like growing up, a lot of people don't like sports because they're afraid to say that one coach is loud, mean, considered mean to everybody. What he's doing, a good coach holds you accountable. He lets you know when you mess up. He lets you know when you're not putting in your effort. And a lot of people are scared of that because then it's about them and they are the reason it's like that. We don't like being the blame of stuff. Humans hate that crap. And
Right.
to avoid that and stay in our comfort zones, we will. So the fact that you're doing this, getting out of your comfort zone, learning new ways to move your body and really focusing on the positives in life is insane. So congrats on that. I can't wait to see where all this takes you in a year. It's going to be so cool. Look back from this next year to where you started back in January and be like, wow, you were a completely different person. And I can already tell that you're a completely different person, not just from your physical results. That's like I always teach this, coaches, especially in my industry, do not care about physical results. Yes, it helps them sell. Yes, it helps them create stories. But what they really care about is you changing. Because if you change, it creates the domino effect. It's like buying someone at Starbucks. Buying the person behind you at Starbucks, you buy their coffee. They end up feeling very like, holy crap, that was so cool. I'm going to buy the next person's coffee. It's the same way with learning how to love yourself. And I think you're doing an amazing job with that.
Yeah, I definitely did want to talk about too, how, whenever I first started this, I was so focused on, the physical results that I was going to see, and what I was going to look like from day one to, the last day or whenever that was. But, the more that I started with this experience, I started realizing more now that, I'm more proud of the mental progress that I've made versus the physical progress, like it's changed everything. I find myself, like I care about what I eat. I care about what I'm doing with my day and how productive I'm going to be that day, and it's just making that big mindset switch, that like, I want to pay attention to all of these little things because all of these little things are going to add up.
Yep. Very, very well put. And I think you're going to be someone that really lets everybody know when they're making that, when they're viewing themselves in a poor way, when they're being hypocritical, when they do stuff and they judge other people for doing it. And I think you're going to be someone who really helps other people and continue to keep doing this crap. You're doing such a good job with it. And like I said, I'm super, super proud of you, of your effort, of your mindset switch, and obviously your physical results. Lastly, kind of just to touch on my coaching and who would you recommend, if you would, who would you recommend my coaching for? Is there a certain person? Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, all of my friends have asked me, or they've told me, like, you look so good, like you've made so much progress, and, they get curious about it and they ask, like, well, how'd you do it? Like, did you have to cut out, all foods from your diet? Or like, what did you do? What's the secret behind it? And so, I told him, I started Austin's program. I started, changing my mindset, getting myself accountable for, getting in a healthy habit routine. I told them I started it. This is what it's like. This is what it includes, and I mean, I think the really cool thing about this program is, you don't have to be at a certain physical fitness level to start this. Like, I tell everyone who asks me about it, this was the best first step for anyone at any fitness level to start.
Yep. And that's very well put as well. Obviously I work with anybody right now. I'm not niched. I'm very open to work with whoever wants to work with me, because I understand that if someone's a beginner and needs to see a change, they need to start as what a beginner would start with. They need to do the baby steps, focus on the foundation of their health, rather than, oh, I got to go to the gym 5 times a week and I have to eat chicken and rice every day. That's not what losing weight and being healthy is about, guys. It's not. Fitness is much more than that. It's so much more than just eating healthy and working out. And that's what a coach kind of helps, or that's what I try to let my clients know. It's much more than that. We can do things each day that's not going to kill us. That's going to better us, though. So, yes, awesome. So thank you for your recommendation. Thank you for your story, and thank you for your honesty. If there's anything else you'd like to say or put in this video, go ahead. This would be your time to do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I do want to say, to anyone out there who is afraid to, take that first step or, be afraid of the accountability and all of that stuff. Like it's not worth it. Being afraid to invest in yourself and make a change that you want to see, like there is no such thing as failure, like if you're willing to take that first step and to face those fears, you're not going to fail. There is no failure. So,
Well put. There's only winners and learners.
yes.
When you fail, you learn. You learn how to switch that system around. You do everything differently, and you learn different ways to move, eat, everything. You learn how to switch it up. And then the next time you do invest in yourself, you're going to be ready to kill it. And that's
Right.
what you did. You invested in yourself and you are seeing amazing results. And that's what I
Yep.
preach to everybody as much as I possibly can. As soon as you invest in yourself, things start to happen that are for the good. So
Yep.
again, your stories and your honesty is amazing. And I can't wait to work more with you and see where this really takes you.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. This has been such a good call. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. Thank